If you're looking for a quiet and walkable town, not too far from the hustle and bustle of Wilmington, North Carolina, or the beaches, you're gonna wanna look at Burgaw, North Carolina. In this video, we're going over the pros and the cons of Burgaw, North Carolina. We're gonna talk about the real estate, we're talking about lifestyle, proximity, so on and so forth. Stay tuned. What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Avery Hamilton with the Legacy Group at eXp Realty, and as much as I love making these videos for you guys about all things living in southeastern North Carolina, I would love even more to help you with the real estate needs. So the phone number and email address popping up on your screen, I am the one that responds to all the calls, texts, and emails, and I would love to have a conversation with you and see how I can best help. Today, we're discussing Burgaw, North Carolina. We're talking about the real estate, we're talking about the lifestyle, things to do, proximity, so on and so forth. So without further ado, let's talk about the proximity of Burgaw, North Carolina. First and foremost, Burgaw is located about a half hour from downtown Wilmington. And so if you're looking to be close to the city of Wilmington, but you want a nice downtown feel without having that crazy hustle and bustle of downtown Wilmington, well, Burgaw might be a fantastic opportunity. In addition, it's about 35 minutes to Wrightsville Beach, but it does not feel like a beach town. Burgaw, North Carolina does not feel like a beach town at all. It honestly feels like a charming downtown historic vibe. However, you're 30 minutes to Wrightsville Beach, making it a fantastic location for those of you that want a nice little drive to the beach. You don't want to be too far, but you also just want that little charming historic town that's walkable. In addition, it's about an hour and a half drive to get to Raleigh, North Carolina. So if you're looking to get to some of the bigger airports, or maybe you commute for business and you go into the city of Raleigh every once in a while, it is really not a bad drive to get into the big city. But if you're looking for just any airport to be within a short commute of where you live, Wilmington International Airport is about 30 minutes from Burgaw. And so if you're traveling, if you need to fly back, north, or you're traveling for business or whatever the case is, 30-minute drive to the airport, not too shabby. And then if you're someone that relies on medical care or just a hospital being nearby, Novant Pender Medical Center is literally 3 minutes from where I'm sitting right now, which is right in the heart of downtown Burgaw. So rest assured that the medical services that you need are gonna be right down the road within a stone's throw distance. Now, with that said, your family practitioners and dentist offices and eye care doctors, all of that is right here in Burgaw as well, so you really don't need to go far. But if you are looking for a little bit more of specialized care, it might be worthwhile looking into Wilmington. Hey, and if you haven't done so already, be sure to hit that subscribe button, like this video if you find it helpful, and hit the notification bell so that you're notified every single time that I drop a new video. But with that being said, why don't we move on to the cost of living here in Burgaw. Cost of living is about 16% lower than the national average, and housing costs are actually 50% lower than the national average. And then groceries and gas are right in line with the national average. So if you're looking to move to a nice area that's relatively close to the beach, relatively close to big cities, has some things going on but isn't too vibrant or too crazy, and also is a solid bang for your buck, Burgaw is gonna be a pretty good option for you because it doesn't break the bank. Now, taxes can be a little bit higher, Burgaw tax plus Pender County. And so that puts you at somewhere about like 1.8 to basically $1.20 per $100 of value. But compared to a lot of places that a lot of my clients are moving from, that is a massive, massive savings. So regardless if you get the highest tax bracket or tax basis here, you'll likely be saving money from wherever it is you're moving from. But then if you consider the cost of homes, you can find quality homes in the 200 to 300 range pretty easily. You can also find beautiful homes in the $1 million plus range, but it is a relatively affordable area. So if you're looking for a lot of bang for your buck, Burgaw is a great opportunity. Now, if you walk or drive through downtown Burgaw, you're gonna notice the brick storefronts, the historic vibe, the historic charm of Burgaw, the wide streets, the stately homes, so on and so forth. And the reason is because the town of Burgaw was incorporated in 1879, but it was founded prior to that. And actually where I'm sitting right now is the original train depot in the town of Burgaw, and it is the crown jewel of Burgaw. And so historically, this train depot played a huge role in the Civil War, supplying equipment and weapons and food and everything else to the Confederacy. And it's pretty cool that this historic monument, call it, is still standing today, and it's in very good condition. You know, I was out exploring some western parts of North Carolina, and you know, I've been all over the world and such at this point, and I see a lot of historic monuments that get destroyed, right? People graffiti them, people write on them, they carve their names. You don't see that here. This is very well preserved and maintained, very clean, and it goes to show the care and the appreciation that the residents in Burgaw have for its historic sites. And so when I'm looking at towns and whether or not I would live in a certain area, that's one of the things that I look at is how is the town treated? How are the historic monuments and the historic sites treated? And do people look like they actually care? And so as you go through downtown Burgaw, you really get an appreciation for the respect that the residents have for the art here in Burgaw. Now, while Burgaw school districts are not ranked among the top in the state necessarily, residents do boast smaller class sizes, a little bit more attention, as well as community involvement. So if you're looking for a family-friendly atmosphere, one where you feel like you can connect with your school district and the work that the kids do in school actually matters in the community as well, Burgaw is going to be a great place for you to live because of that. I know for me, you know, we're homeschooling our daughter, but if we did send her to public school, we'd be looking at that community involvement, community enrichment, and you know, what can our daughter do for the community at a young age? And so Burgaw school districts, you know, are really emphasizing some of that. And that's one thing that I love to hear. And I know when I talk to you guys are looking at involved school districts. And so what are those? Well, Burgaw is one of them. And so moving on to the lifestyle here in Burgaw, you know, it's not a nightlife type town. It is a laid back little town, but it does offer a lot to its residents. As I mentioned, you know, they have the brick front, you know, stores and such, and wide streets. You know, that is conducive to local shopping, local mom and pop shops, restaurants, breweries, coffee stores, so on and so forth. So yes, it's a walkable downtown, lots of shopping and consignment and things like that. But then also every single year, the Blueberry Festival is put on, which attracts people from not only Burgaw, but all over the place. My wife went this year and she said it was massive, and my daughter really enjoyed it. She got to see Princess Jasmine, which was pretty cool. So, you know, the community is not only just doing the Blueberry Festival, but there's other vendor markets and things like that that happen all the time to get people involved in the community, to get them buying local, so on and so forth. So Burgaw, like I said, while it's not a nightlife community, there is still a lot going on. And then if you wanted to escape downtown, you can go down 30 minutes down to the beach. You go to Wrightsville Beach, or you can get a change of scene by going to downtown Wilmington and the Riverwalk, or whatever it is. It's only a short distance away, but Burgaw in and of itself, I think you'll find enough to do on a daily basis that you're gonna feel entertained and like you can be as involved or uninvolved in the community as you want. So what are the pros and cons of Burgaw, North Carolina? Well, like I said, you know, the low cost of living, the small town charm, the easy access to the beaches and to downtown Wilmington and any other area really that you want to get to. It's really easy to get there. But then also just the community involvement, the charm here, and just being so tight knit to the point where you feel like you can go to the schools, you can go to the hospital. There's so much that is just a stone's throw away here in downtown Burgaw. So if you're looking for a tight knit community like that, Burgaw's it. But Burgaw is not the nightlife area. You're not gonna get clubs. You're not gonna get, you know, a bunch of big bars and things like that to go clubbing. It is limited dining. There's fewer entertainment options. And like I said, the schools aren't the highest ranked schools in North Carolina. So if those are all things that matter to you, and additionally, I'll throw this in there too, you know, a lot of you will call me up and you wanna be within 15 minutes to the beach or even closer. Burgaw is not 15 minutes to the beach. Like I said, it's, you know, 30, 35 to the beach. And so if you need to live closer to the beach, you know, for whatever reason, lifestyle change, whatever, you know, Burgaw is not going to be it, which is the reason I don't live in Burgaw. My wife and I, we love coming to Burgaw. We love the Blueberry Festival. We come out here all the time, but we want to live closer to the beach, which is why we live in Holly Ridge. It's close to Surf City, and that's our choice. However, Burgaw is the kind of town that honestly reminds me of the historic parts of upstate New York where I'm originally from. You know, the 1800s charm, the 1800s history, it's all here. And so very much like the Northeast in the United States, Burgaw reminds me of. It's very small, very historic, very charming, but for us, it's not close enough to the beach. So with that said, that is the downside of Burgaw, North Carolina. Ultimately, what I'm saying is for the right family, for the right retiree, you know, cost of living, access to downtown Wilmington, access to the beach, 30 minutes, access to medical centers, and a close-knit school district. For the right family, it's a gem. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, reach out in the comments, reach out to the phone number and email address on the screen. If you're looking to make a move, whether it's 9 days, 90 days, I would be more than happy to have a conversation with you and see how I can best help. But until next video, guys, peace. See you later. Bye.